Guys, naputol yung live natin, naputol. So, ilalive muna natin. Hindi pa naman ako aalis eh. Papunta pa ako, magre-ready pa ako sa ano. Hindi ko po yung pinutol. So, you guys, thank you so much for staying with me. Hindi ko po yung pinutol, pero naputol na, hindi na ako makaano dito. So, shoot out po sa inyong lahat. And thank you so much. So, naliligo lang po ako, baka may tumawag na naman, kaya napuputol. So shout out po sa aking mga minamahal na mga subscribers, silent viewers, sa mga FWs, kaibigan at hindi, mega love shout out po. At sa lahat-lahat ng sumusuporta ng aking channel, mega love shout out. And thank you so much. Na, history na nga eh. Hindi rin dito maano ha. So, yan na guys, hindi ko po yung pinutol, pero naputol po yung live ko. So, shoot out po sa inyong lahat. Thank you and good morning po sa lahat-lahat. Happy Tuesday. Huwag po kayo mag-aalala po sa akin po dito, sa kalagayan po dito ng Amerika. Lalong-lalo na po sa Amerika, sa Los Angeles at San Francisco, Redwood City, ang San Jose, na may mga rally po. Malayo po ang lugar ko dyan. Nandito po ako sa San Mateo po. So, wala pa pong rally dito sa lugar namin. Okay pa po, peaceful pa po yung aming city. So, wala po kayong dapat alalahanin po dito sa lugar ng ano po dito sa lugar ko kasi maano pa po, peaceful pa. Wala pa pong rally. Yung sa LA po ay malayo po yun, kung magdadrive po kayo ay 8 hours drive. Tapos kung pupunta po tayo kung magpa-fly po mga 1 hour po yun, 45 minutes. Kung mga 1 hour po yung uh, pag ano. Pero kung dito naman po sa San Francisco, 45 to 1 hour ang drive din po. Hindi mo na kailangan sakayin po ng eroplano yan kasi nandito lang po yan sa San Francisco. So, 45 to 1 hour drive po yung San Francisco mula dito po sa aking lugar na tinitirahan. Tapos, yung Redwood City po ay mga 20 minutes drive po mula dito po sa lugar ko. At yung San Jose naman po, Mga 45 minutes din po ang drive po mula dito po sa aking lugar. So, very peaceful pa po dito sa lugar ko. Hindi pa, wag kayo pong mag-alala sa sitwasyon po dito sa aking lugar ng San Francisco kasi hindi pa po malala dito po sa lugar ng ano. Malaki po yung San Francisco, pero hindi po siya kasing laki ng LA. Yung yung San Jose po ay so ganito po 'yan. Yung San Francisco ay San Francisco County, yung San Mateo ay San Mateo County, yung San Jose ay Santa Clara County po. Bali na-split po 'yan ng 3 counties. So nasa gitna po ang San Mateo po nasa gitna. Kaya wag po kayo masyadong mag-alala kasi hindi pa po magulo masyado dito po sa lugar ng San Mateo. So, ups, okay pa po dito. Okay, so shoot out po sa aking mga minamahal ng mga subscribers, silent viewers, sa mga OFWs, kaibigan at hindi, miga love shoot out. So wag po kayo mag-alala kasi nung nandoon po ako sa Pilipinas, malaki po yung sunog dito po sa California. Marami pong nag-alala po sa akin, baka nasunog daw yung lugar ko. Tinatanong din po ako sa aking mga subscriber kung malapit po ako doon sa ano po sa LA. Sabi ko malayo yan kasi California nga ako pero malayo yung sunog sa lugar ko. Kaya ito po, dahil makikita po nyo dyan sa mga television, sa mga news, maipapaalam ko lang po sa inyo na malayo po yan dito sa lugar ko. So wag kayo pong mag-alala sa aking mga minamahal na mga subscriber dyan. Wag kayo pong mag-alala dahil napakalayo po yan dito po sa lugar ng aking tinitirahan. So, yan lang pa ang aking masasabi po sa inyo na malayong malayo po yan para dito po. Napapanood po, nasusubaybayan ko po yung news, nanonood po ako ng news para sa akin pong Tiban King Dave. Let's connect sa nakapinsikan bago video upload. Sino po kayo? Kanino po ito? Tiban King Dave, abaw. Tibankin is right here. So, huwag po kayo masyadong mag-alala para sa akin po ha kasi yan lang po ang ipaalala ko po sa inyo. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Malayong malayo po yung LA dito sa California po. Dito po sa San Francisco. Kung makikita naman po niyo ngayon na may rally po sa San Francisco, nandoon po yan sa downtown ng San Francisco kung saan po yung immigration building. Yun po. Kasi ang inaano ngayon po yung mga immigration building, federal building po. So malayo po dito. Mayroon kaming city hall dito sa malapit. Pero wag pa po kayo mag-alala, wala pang kumilos po dyan. Parang hindi, pero yung ano po, nakikita na po namin yung doon sa Redwood City. Nandoon din po yun sa may City Hall sa Redwood City. Pero malayo po kung sasakayin ko po ng bus ay mga 1 hour ang bus doon papunta. Pero kung i-drive mo mga 15 minutes, nandoon na 15-20 minutes, nandoon ka na po. So, wala pa pong masyadong malaki ang gulo po dito sa lugar ko po. So, shoot out po sa lahat. Mag-mimic up po muna tayo. So, yan po ha, dito po tayo kay Tiban Kin Dave. So, shoot out po dyan, okay? Shoot out po. So, mag-make up po tayo guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Lilo States tayo po. Lilo. Yung yan po. Papasok tayo, magkanito na lang po tayo. Napuputol kasi mayroong tumatawag eh. Kaya hindi ko namalayan kanina. I'm gonna go to work today, ha? Dito tayo guys, nakapag-make up na po. Nakapag-make up na, nakapag-make up na tayo. So, shoot out po. Sa aking mga minamahal na mga subscribers, silent viewers, sa mga OFWs, kaibigan at hindi, mega love shoot out po. At sa lahat-lahat ng sumusuporta ng aking channel, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I love you guys. So, sandali lang po to, short na video lang po to, live lang to kasi papasok po ako sa trabaho. Aalis po ako dito ng 11:30, kakain muna ako ng lunch, tapos papasok tayo ng work. So, shoot out po dyan sa mga Tiban Kin Dave. Shoot out po dyan sa kanya. Shoot out po sa kanya mga members. Super chatter, nag-isang sponsor niya. Maraming salamat. Thank you, thank you. Shoot out po. Sa muli po, huwag po kayo mag-alala po sa akin, sa aking mga, lahat ng mga subscriber dyan. Mga OFWs, lalong-lalo na sa mga OFW po na nanonood po ng mga rally dito po sa Amerika, dito sa California. Huwag po kayo mag-alala, malayo po ako dyan, hindi po ako, at saka nandito, malayo po kami at hindi po kami sasali dyan sa mga rally-rally. So, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. So, don't worry about us here, kasi malayo po kami si Kuya Gado, ang medyo malapit-lapit dyan kasi nasa Asia. So, sana hindi malayo din po sa kanyang lugar yung mga rally ngayon kasi nasa downtown yan. Depende yan kung saan siya banda nakatira. So, shoot out po. Shoot out sa kay Tiban Kin Dave Abaw. Tiban Dave Abaw. Shoot out po. Shoot out, set out. So, ngayon po, bago po ako, 10 o'clock, bago po ako papasok, ay kakain po ako. 33 na. Wala po akong kanin. Kaya kakain lang po tayo ng kung ano man yung nandito sa bahay. Tapos magdadala na lang po ako ng maano. So shoot out po ha. Malapit na po ako mag-ano. So Meron akong soda dyan. Ano natin yan? Meron kasi dito. Tayo ng salad. Ayan. Kakain po ako, papasok po ako, kakain. So, shout out po sa lahat. Thank you so much. Love you. Kakain lang po ako ha. This is my lunch food. Eggplant, chow mein, beef, beef mushroom, and brown rice. Saka sinigang na baboy. Yan po yung kakainin natin ngayon po before trabaho. Lunch for today, bago pumasok sa trabaho, eggplant, chow beef, eggplant, chow brown rice, and beef with mushroom. Yun po yung lunch natin bago tayo pumasok sa trabaho. Shoot out po sa lahat. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Kain po tayo, kain. What I tell you? No barking, right? I told you no barking. Oi, look at me. I told you no barking, huh? No. Palo you, palo.
3 straight days, we have seen protesters, most of whom were wearing masks to hide their faces, clash with police, throwing just about anything from cinder blocks to hammers at law enforcement in response to ICE arrests throughout the city. It all started Friday night when agents captured what they are calling the worst of the worst. Some of the migrants arrested have been convicted of crimes ranging from assault to drug offenses. One arrest includes a gang member convicted of murder after shooting up a high school graduation party, killing 2 teens and injuring 7 others. By Sunday morning, hundreds of National Guard members were on duty in downtown LA at the request of President Trump, who says he will do whatever he can to bring peace back to the city.
What is the bar for sending Marines?
What I think it is. I mean, if we see danger to our country and to our citizens, we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order.
That's accuracy relief on the table, sir. Secretary,
We're going to see what we need. We'll send whatever we need to make sure there's law and order.
Meantime, California Governor Gavin Newsom, formally requesting the administration rescind their, quote, unlawful deployment of troops to LA, going as far as to say, quote, creating mass chaos and militarizing cities are acts of a dictator, not a president. Police arresting at least 27 people on Sunday. They have declared all of downtown LA a, quote, unlawful assembly area, meaning anyone who enters that area could be arrested as well. Back over to you.
Unbelievable what's taken place. Thanks so much, Todd. You know, what's kind of amazing is you really have the story in one country, 2 different philosophies when it comes to legal immigration. You got a mayor and a governor elected rightfully, and it was said legal immigrants are just like anybody else. And we're a sanctuary state, we're a sanctuary city. You'll have all the rights, and we'll go out of our way to make sure you're not arrested. We got a president that got elected because he's going to enforce the border and get rid of illegal immigrant criminals first and the rest along the way. There are 660,000 illegal immigrant criminals. We're going to show you a roster shortly of some of the people that were arrested and scooped up. But ICE, in the eyes of these perhaps illegal immigrant rioters, are the problem, not the solution.
It sparked a war of words between Gavin Newsom and President Trump over the weekend. Gavin Newsom does not want these 2,000 National Guard troops sent in that the president sent in over the weekend. But yes, as Brian was saying, when you look at some of these criminals that were scooped up, these are people who are here illegally. Here are some of their charges: burglary, sexual assault, sexual battery, receiving stolen property and theft, cocaine distribution, conspiracy, controlled substances, assault with a deadly weapon, obstructing officers, assault with deadly weapon with great bodily injury, firearm discharge, spousal battery, child cruelty, DUI, semi-automatic firearm assault, second-degree murder, grand theft, larceny, and possession of a weapon, narcotics distribution, and domestic violence.
So you got people that are violent criminals that are in California, in Los Angeles, and the Trump administration is doing the promise that they got elected on, which is getting the criminals out of our country. So you got the federal agents that are on the ground, and then a mob attacks them. They get on the radio to talk to the Los Angeles Police Department, and someone in the higher echelon, the chief or someone, tells the officers not to respond to the calls for help from ICE. So you got federal agents that are surrounded, and now they've been made the enemy. You got the Mexican president calling for protests. How about you come get your people out of our country that are violent offenders that we showed you? Then you got the people with
This pissed off a lot of Americans. Let me tell you why. Did you know that if you're an American and you're at least 50 years old, you could be eligible for this $25,000 funeral benefit coverage? It's true. The industry doesn't want you to know about this, and it's the reason why you've been kept in the dark for so long. Many seniors regret not knowing about this sooner because the benefits are insane. This $25,000 burial benefit can help your family save a significant amount when you pass and make you worry less financially, and it's super easy to get. All you need to do is click the link below, answer 2 simple questions, and boom, you're done. No one will call you. No one will text you. No one will email you because this is not a scam. But you have to hurry and act now because this program could end soon. If you don't see this video again, then that means the program could have ended and all the $25,000 burial benefits have been taken. So hurry and click the link below to answer 2 simple questions.
What's the fastest way to get relief for toenail fungus? Is it A, apple cider vinegar? Is it B, tea tree oil? Or is it C, using topical ointments found at drugstores? You might be interested to learn there is another way to get relief for toenail fungus that isn't what you think. Because according to the latest research, these so-called solutions don't fully address the real root cause of toenail fungus. There is one simple solution that can help relieve the problem fast. Did you know toenail fungus problems have little to do with your toes? Harvard researchers discovered that toenail fungus is actually an alarming sign of an internal infection caused by a compromised immune system. And if you've been struggling with toenail fungus for at least a week, chances are there's already a bacterial buildup in your body's organs and cells. That's why external scrubbing or topical treatments will struggle to fix the problem permanently. And this also means your toenail fungus problems could continue getting worse because you're only treating the surface, not the root cause. Over time, the fungus does more than just change the way your toenail looks. The fungal infection can actually spread like a virus spreading from toe to toe. But it doesn't end there. The infection can spread to the rest of your body, damaging your white blood cells and compromising your entire immune system. This is why you have to eliminate the fungus from the inside. And it turns out, a solution has been hiding in plain sight for more than 1,000 years. And the traditional approach they used is what inspired this simple solution. The best part, in fact, is that this simple solution has been tested and found to be effective. So if you've tried everything to get rid of your toenail fungus and nothing has worked, then simply use the button below to watch the informative presentation that explains everything you need to know. It shows exactly how this one-of-a-kind fungus-clearing ritual could help reduce or eliminate unsightly toenail fungus. It's so powerful because it targets the one internal root cause of foot fungus and could help with common types of foot fungus: yellow-brown discoloration, crumbling fungal spread, rotting appearance, foul smell, and even toenail loss. You name it. Many people are already doing it to find relief in record time. Jim is a man who went to see a podiatrist 7 months ago. He had severe toenail fungal damage and was prescribed nail removal surgery. But soon after, he discovered and started doing the simple fungus-clearing ritual. He couldn't believe his results. After a month, he went back to see the podiatrist, who was shocked to see that Jim was cleared and no longer needed nail removal surgery at all. Ramona had been suffering from embarrassing foot fungus for over 6 years. She wore 2 pairs of socks everywhere she went because she was so self-conscious of the smell. Her fungal sores were so painful that they affected her balance when walking. She tried every known foot soak remedy, but it was all just a waste of money. However, after trying this
Mexican flags. If you love Mexico so much, you can go back to that country and make it great again. And then you got the city of Glendale that are now getting rid of their ICE detainee contract now. So they're not going to be cooperating with ICE or Homeland Security. You got a big mess in California.
Right. I just love this. I'm just going to ask you the question. Would you rather Kenosha? Would you rather Minneapolis from a couple of years ago? Or do you want to see a president that watched, learned, and said this will not happen in our country? Law and disorder. Make your choice. Are you for the law or are you for disorder? Make another choice. Are you for illegal immigration or are you for legal migration? Because that's starkly what we're looking at. He's enforced the border, but illegal immigrants then they can run wild, and they're on the taxpayer dollar. So for those of you who are upset about the size of your tax burden in California, it's because you're housing, paying, and educating these people.
Look at this. This is the police department. Just rioters slamming some sort of
With a
what
skateboard.
is that? A skateboard
Yeah.
into the glass?
Yeah, and broke the glass as well. And this is coming after. So Bill Malugin posted on X that the police chief said essentially that the situation was out of control. Gavin Newsom responds to Bill Malugin by saying this. Let's get this straight. Local law enforcement didn't need any help. Excuse me? Trump
Stay here,
sent troops
okay?
anywhere
I'm
to
gonna come back,
manufacture
huh?
chaos and violence.
I'll be
Number
back.
3, Trump succeeded,
Stay
and
here.
now things are destabilized, and we need to send in more law enforcement just to clean up Trump's mess.
Can I paraphrase real quick?
Crazy.
The LA police chief came out and said, are they 2,000 National Guardsmen making things worse? He goes, no. They basically said no. And that goes against
100%.
the people that put him in office because he says, no, they haven't. And it is out of control. So the governor who sits there in a protective facility, wherever he is, doesn't want to go out and see what's going on, but says, okay, we're going to make Donald Trump the bad guy. And the mayor would have, every day she just reinforces how inadequate she is for the job, comes out and blames Trump.
Yeah, is Trump supposed to just sit by and watch this?
This
They
mess.
shut down the 101 freeway. They faced off with the National Guard, with the agents and the riot police. Some were waving foreign flags.
Yeah,
There
look at
were
all these
39
flags.
people arrested. And even the police chief of LA, Jim McDonnell, he said we're overwhelmed. They're using cinder blocks and hammers to throw at officers, to throw it at cars. We've had liquid, who knows what, thrown at officers.
So the Democratic Party is criticizing the president. This is their opportunity to lead. This is their city. They're in control. They can make something happen. But this is just the list of quotes that we're hearing from the leader. She wants to be the next governor. The former border czar, you know about Kamala Harris. This is what she had to say. It's part of the Trump administration's cruel, calculated agenda to spread panic and division. The mayor who allowed the city to burn had no plan while she was on a foreign trip. This is what she had to say. What we're seeing in Los Angeles is chaos that is provoked by the administration. And then Governor Hairgel, Gavin Newsom, said this: these are the acts of a dictator, not a president. Now, you got to remember, this is the same city and state that passed a law that allowed criminals to just go into stores and be able to steal less than $1,000. And then all the stores left the state as a result of this, and now they're allowing the criminals to throw stuff at cops right now, injuring them.
So it just kills me. And I was speaking to the sheriff last night on One Nation, Villanueva. I said, let me ask you, is LA doing everything they possibly can to the LAPD to help out ICE? He goes, absolutely not. And he basically called on the average cop to stand up and speak out and do the right thing. But you blow up your pension, you blow up your family. I mean, it's tough to say with your career on the line, but it must be killing them because law enforcement wants to help out. Please don't. The mayor comes out and says that everything was under control. It was a minor infraction. Are you kidding me? That's a
Look at
minor
this.
infraction. That is total disrespect for police. They're spitting on cop cars. And those other cars that were blown up, those were robo-taxis. So you're blowing up taxis that will affordably be able to pick you up in all different types of circumstances, but that's what you blow up. Just keep in mind, I always say to myself, who's financing these stuff? Who's behind it? And there's a group called the Coalition for Human Immigration Rights who gets tens of millions of dollars from the federal government, from California, and from China. They had a big rally on Thursday, and they say they're not part of this. There's no way they're not part of this, a part of an organized effort to create unrest.
It's hard.
I just don't know how this ends.
It's hard to watch all of this and know what these illegals were charged with. We listed out all the crimes, and to hear other officials in California, these Democrats
Mask again.
or liberals that say they're not going to work with ICE, they're not going to work with law enforcement. You even have the LAPD chief, Jim McDonnell, said the public should trust his department because they're not working with ICE. Listen.
Last warning, if you did not get your funeral benefit, pay close attention before you miss out on this.
I also want to be unequivocally clear. The Los Angeles Police Department does not participate in or coordinate with Immigration and Customs Enforcement on civil immigration enforcement. We've said this over and over again, and I can't stress it enough for the people in our community who have high levels of anxiety about this issue, that we want everybody to believe and be able to call the LAPD in time of need if they've been a victim of a crime or a witness to a crime. We need that.
But what he's describing is part of the problem. ICE wouldn't have to go community to community in a stack of 30 agents if the LAPD would keep these people behind bars and allow them to pick them up. Also, you're going to hear this the next couple of days that they're afraid of the police. I don't know people that claim to be afraid of. All right, buck up. Fox News alert. The Trump administration sent in additional forces to restore order to Los Angeles as anti-ICE riots enter into the 5th day.
So let's get right to Jonathan Hunt. He's live on the ground in LA. Hey, Jonathan.
Ainsley Lawrence, Brian, good morning to all of you. I have to say that 24 hours ago, we joined you from this precise location outside the Metropolitan Detention Center. Very different scene then that it is now. There is a much more relaxed security posture here today. You can see a handful of National Guard outside the detention center behind me. But yesterday at this time, the entire street was blocked off. A phalanx of National Guard troops were right across this street. It is certainly a different atmosphere in LA this morning, and that might be a sign that authorities believe they are getting a grip on these protests. Of course, that is not to say there was not violence yesterday. Thousands of protesters were once again on the streets of downtown LA. But the LAPD operation, along with the Sheriff's Department and the California Highway Patrol, seemed a lot more efficient yesterday. They broke the protesters into various groups. They continually pushed them back, using tear gas rounds, using flashbangs, using, in some cases, rubber bullets. In the meantime, as you mentioned, President Trump has ordered Marines now to come to LA. We understand that 700 Marines left their base at 29 Palms, that is out towards the Palm Springs area, east of LA yesterday. We believe that they staged overnight at Naval Station Seal Beach and that they should be deployed on the streets of LA at some point later today. California Governor Gavin Newsom said of that deployment, quote, the Secretary of Defense is illegally deploying them onto American streets so Trump can have a talking point at his parade this weekend. It's a blatant abuse of power. We will sue to stop this. Nonetheless, President Trump and others will say that their deployment of the National Guard on Sunday clearly made a difference, that those Sunday clashes were much more violent than they were on Monday, and they will argue that is because, in part, they are surging forces here. In the meantime, the search to round up some of those involved in the violence goes on. Elpidio Reyna was a 40-year-old man who was seen throwing rocks and bricks at law enforcement officers. Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, announced on Hannity last night that they have formally identified him. Here's the Attorney General.
That guy has just been identified, and they are doing a search.
Rocks and things like that. Some of them were wearing all black. Some organization there. There's certainly some organization, and let's be frank, in any major protest, there is always a level of organization. There are always groups that get involved in that. And yes, masks are being handed out, water is being handed out, so there is organization on that level, as you would expect. These are groups that we have seen before getting involved in other protests here. You'll recall the LAPD chief, Jim McDonnell, saying on Sunday that while there are people involved in these protests who have the cause of immigration in their heart and soul, they are not the ones, in his view, causing the violence. What Jim McDonnell said is that they are agitators, they are anarchists, as he put it, and he said you could use a lot of other words for them, who come in. They've seen them in the George Floyd protests, they've seen them in the anti-Wall Street protests,
the same people keep coming back because, in the view of Jim McDonnell, they just want to cause trouble. That's it.
And they're getting paid. Thanks so much, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan. Well, you have Cory Booker, Maxine Waters, Hakeem Jeffries. They're all saying these are peaceful protests. If you watched our network last night, you saw they were not.
Yeah.
These rioters were throwing frozen water bottles at police. They were waving Mexican flags, burning American flags. They were handing out earplugs and gas masks, throwing Molotov cocktails. They hid baseball bats in the bushes. They lobbed fireworks and sticks at police. And I did see people being arrested. Lawrence, on my drive into work, I was on social media just reading some of the articles. Lots of people were being arrested. There was one lady that punched a cop, and they put her on the ground. They arrested her. And I read that since Friday, there have been 60 plus people arrested.
The problem is when they say the peaceful protesters, it's all organized in the sense of you got the people that throw stuff at the cops, and then the people that aren't throwing things, they use themselves as a shield, and they hide themselves behind those people. So you got to break it all up. I just worry about the whole situation. Anyway, we got to move on.
All right, it's 9 minutes after the top of the hour. As rioters attack law enforcement and destroy property, California's Governor Gavin Newsom getting into a heated back and forth with President Trump.
Maddie Rivera joins us with the details from the White House with the growing feud. Good morning.
Good morning, Lawrence, Angie, and Brian. California Governor Gavin Newsom is already promising more legal action against the Trump administration, this time over the deployment of those 700 Marines. Remember, he's already suing the Trump administration over the deployment of the National Guard. The president, meantime, has called Newsom incompetent and is responding to the governor's allegation that he wants a civil war.
What do you make of the fact that he says, you want a civil war on the streets of America?
No, that's just the opposite. I don't want a civil war. A civil war would happen if you left it to people like him.
So the president says he does not want a civil war, but the war of words between him and Newsom shows no signs of stopping at this point. Here he is backing Newsom's arrest after the governor dared border czar Tom Homan to do so.
Then the report action, well, Governor Newsom or Mayor.
Ultra Fire cervical care pillow. Even orthopedic doctors are using it. Orthopedic expert recommendation. Cervical traction pillow. Developed by more than 30 engineers. Each area has been professional to provide comfort for all sleeping positions. Support the neck and shoulder. Relieve neck and shoulder.
Has to be arrested. I said, well, no one's above the law. If they cross the line and commit a crime, absolutely they can.
Gavin Newsom is he's daring Tom Homan to come and arrest him. Should he do it? I would do it if I were him. I think it's great. Gavin likes the publicity, but I think it would be a great thing. He's done a terrible job. Look, I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent.
Newsom saying on X, the president of the United States just called for the arrest of a sitting governor. This is a day I hoped I would never see in America. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. This is a line we cannot cross as a nation. This is an unmistakable step toward authoritarianism. Also happening today, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is appearing on Capitol Hill to testify about the Pentagon's budget. He will likely get questions about other issues like the deployment of those Marines and Signalgate. That hearing is supposed to kick off at 9:30 a.m.
Thank you being a
Eastern
good
time.
boy, huh?
Lawrence,
I'm gonna
Angie,
go to
and
work,
Thanks,
okay?
Maddie. Yeah, they have $1 trillion
I go
budget
to
to
work.
discuss, but let's talk about Signalgate from 2 months ago. Just real quick, some of the quotes that are coming out of these rioters, quote, "We need to take down this empire once and for all," was heard out there. Also, it's important to point out, most of the businesses that have been damaged are Hispanic businesses, and the ones that have been looted, like T-Mobile, as well as Foot Locker, Hispanic businesses. I mean, these are the owners there. So what the hell are you doing? Working class areas, defiling federal buildings, and looting when you can. I mean, just think about this. Who's going to pick up the bill for this?
So you had that great interview with Homan yesterday, Lawrence, and you were asking him about, are y'all going to arrest Gavin Newsom? He said, we haven't even talked about that. You know, the president just was on the lawn, but they asked him yesterday, a reporter said, what crime has Gavin Newsom committed? And he said, I think his primary crime is running for governor because he's done such a bad job.
Well, he's trying to use this.
Okay,
as
bye-bye,
a
okay?
spearhead,
Bye-bye, I'm gonna go to work.
Now, remember, just a month ago, he decided he wanted to be a moderator, and he was doing all these podcasts.
So guys, papunta na po ako ng trabaho. Shoot out po sa lahat. Thank you. Iris, see you again tonight, Res, okay? I'll go to work. Okay, Grandma, Lula is coming home early, ha? So, trabaho po tayo. Set. Hello.
Number 3,
Who?
Genevieve Marcus.
Genevieve?
Yeah, yep.
No, not my cousin.
Oh, okay. Number 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to put it?
Yeah, I'll put it right here.
Okay.
Yeah. So, papasok. Papasok. Lalakad po ako papuntang trabaho. So, doon ko na po ito papatayin kapag nandoon na po tayo sa sa trabaho. Kasi naputol kanina. So, shoot out po sa lahat. At lalakad-lakad po tayo para pumunta sa trabaho yan. And guys, thank you. Leaving 45 na po yung start ko po ay 12 o'clock. Sumuka pa kasi po ako sa banyo ngayon eh. Kaya na late po tayo. Lang po yan, hindi pa po ako malilate niyan. Guys, dadaan po ako ng parking lot po, madilim ha. Sa parking lot po ako ngayon dadaan po guys, sa parking lot. Guys, tapos na po ako ngayon sa parking lot. Yan, maliwanag na po. So, dito po ako ngayon sa parking lot. Tapos na po. Yan, siyempre, papunta pa ako ng trabaho. Shopping mall po, shopping mall. Akit pa ako sa escalator. Dito na po ako sa mall. Lalabas, sa mall ako tapos lalabas, nandoon na po yung trabaho ko sa labas ng mall. Pababa po ng escalator, pababa. Pababa na po, nandito na po ako sa escalator. Nakababa na po ako ng escalator. So paglabas ko po nito ay nandoon, tatawid na ako ng street. Nandoon na po yung trabaho ko. Tahimik po ang mall kasi Martes ngayon. Labas na po. Kalabas na po ako sa mall. Tatawid lang po ako ng stoplight. Doon na po yung work ko. So, 5 minutes na lang. May 5 minutes pa ako bago mag-start. So, ibababa ko lang yung aking gamit guys. Tapos wala na, start na tayo. So, kind of late. Kind of late po ako ngayon. So, shout out po at maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, sa mga sumusuporta po sa akin. So, wag po kayong mag-alala, malayo po ako sa gulo ng rally. Yan po. Ito lang, tatawirin ko lang tong kalsada na to. Tapos ano na, trabaho ko na po. So, ayan po yung Old Navy. Dito po tayo sa Old Navy nagtatrabaho guys. Ayan na. So hanggang dito na lang po ako. Thank you so much po. Thank you so much sa inyong lahat. Dito po tayo. Thank you. Guys, hanggang dito na lang. Thank you so much. Nandito na po po sa trabaho. Bawal lang camera po dun sa loob. Kaya papatayin ko na po. Thank you so much. Love you.